25, Mike Henson, number 74, coming around, number 82, Charles Burrow. Captains representing the White Squad, number 18, Frankie Gobria, number 18, Lucas Grape, number 55, Matt McGuire, and number 74,
They can always edit that part out. So
Yeah, right.
What we have to do is like after every play kind of pause because we don't know to give them time to do an edit.
Okay.
They're going to edit that section. So you finish your comment.
Right.
Greg will make a comment, whatever. We don't do it on every play.
Yeah.
But we're winging
Your
this thing.
football pleasure
No, I know.
tomorrow
A lot of
at 11
editing.
o'clock a.m.
So just
Stony Brook
no, what I'm
University
just saying is
Seawolves
that
will take on the Johnnies from St. John University right here on this field. You can't make
We're
the
doing
game
a full
naturally
tape,
action on
but
Fox
we're-
Sports New York.
Right. But so there is going to be a full tape.
Number 64 is not Joey McKay. Joel.
Joel?
He's editing this into a
Say, Mr. and Mrs. McKay, I'm sorry. Joel McKay.
No, we're not going to have any replays, but
The parents are pissed, they're climbing up, they're up here right now.
Security guy.
Post editing.
Alright, Jim. Alright, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give you a countdown. Ready, guys? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the 1999 Suffolk County Police Athletic High School Football All-Star Football Game from University at Stony Brook. Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with Nick Schroeder, former Suffolk County Coordinator of Football, Athletic Director at Smithtown High School, and joined by Greg Sarah of Newsday. And Nick, as we get set for this All-Star game on a rainy day, what can we look for as far as these two teams are concerned? We'll have the blue team representing conference, or rather Divisions 1 and 4, going up against the white team representing Divisions 2 and 3.
Well, I think what's surprising over the years, this is the 27th year of this All-Star game, is the quality of play just for the short amount of time that these teams have been practicing. I think you'll see a game that's pretty much dominated by defense, where mistakes are going to be the key in this game, particularly in the wet weather. I think you'll look for a game where a fumble or two might make the difference in the game, or an interception or a play. It should be a defensive-oriented game because of the short number of days practicing.
Greg Sarah, you've seen these teams practice, and you know the quality of players. You've covered the football throughout the year. What do you expect today?
I'd like to see them open it up. I'd like to see both teams have a lot of fun today. Enjoy the talent that we have out here on a Thanksgiving morning. It's our second year in a row that we've had inclement weather, but it leads to a lot of fun for these kids.
All right, should be an interesting confrontation as we get set for the start of the game. Back to receive the kick, I believe, number 22 is Matt Milheiser for the blue team. And check that, it is Frank Campos and Burrows, Speedy Charles Burrows. And this will be taken by Campos at the 2 to the 20. Right up the middle, still going, and down as he got to around the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. And the tackle made by Luke Grace, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the blue team. And we'll set the lineups for you. They've got an outstanding core of quarterbacks. Brad Rock, the star from Smithtown, who you're very familiar with, Nick. Jeff Holderline from Sachem. Sam Kelly. Also, we'll see action from Southampton, and Matt Milheiser from Shore and Wading River. We'll set the lineup for you. Joe Cornett comes out wide to the left in blue. He'll be an outstanding collegiate wide receiver out of John Glenn High School. The quarterback is Brad Rock, number 16. The backs are split 34, Joe Stelk, as they go with a wing.
Stelky and Fisher in the
And
backfield.
Stelky and Fisher are the backs.
Handoff is to Stelky.
And they go to Stelky,
Stopped
pick
by
number
Lucas
34,
Grace.
and stopped
No gain.
by middle linebacker Grace. And what do you look for from this team in terms of offense as we look at this blue team? What can we expect to see?
Well, I think what you're going to see is whoever the offensive coordinator is, or the offensive head coach, usually puts in his offense, and it's Vinny Amarato from Mount Sinai, and they're a wing T team, and that's what they're running right now. So you'll see a play-action passing game with a lot of misdirection type of plays, and that seems to be what they're going to go with.
All right, they line up with Alex Otero as the wing. They'll stay on the ground once again, going right up the middle. And
Handoff again to
Joe
Stelky for a
Stelky
gain of 5
out of
yards.
Longwood High School
Tackle
picks up
play by
5,
52,
setting up a
Lucas
3rd
Grace.
down in short
So 3rd
situation.
down and
Again,
5
the
for the
outstanding
blue
middle
team.
linebacker, Lucas Grace out of Kings Park, coming up with a tackle.
Grace is in the line of a number of brothers that went to Kings Park. One of them was the Zellner Award winner. One of them was playing at Boston College. The other one played at Wake Forest, and so he's the third of a great family of football players. And you'll take a look. That time, the the blue team ran a play that was a weak side belly, and they're coming back to it again. The Longwood fullback picking up a good big gain to pick up the first down, Barry.
Joe Stelke once again getting the call. He's a bruiser at 6 foot, 220 pounds. Played, of course, for that championship Longwood team last year that went to the Long Island Championship.
One of the more dominant teams we've seen in the last 10 years, Barry. Longwood finished the only team undefeated 11-0 last year for the Long Island Class 1 championship.
We've got a chance this year for a team to be 11-0, and that's my alma mater, the Brentwood Indians, who are taking on Farmingdale tomorrow. And this is the start of a big weekend of football on Long Island because the 4 championships games will be at Hofstra tomorrow and on Saturday.
All right, Nick, and first down up at the 36-yard line. Brad Rock has stayed on the ground, and they'll stay on it again. This time, Tom Fisher, the speedster out of Connecticut, stood up and driven back as he was stopped on the play by Dan Gomez.
I personally think that Fisher is the best running back in League One. I've watched him for 2 years. He's a breakaway type of runner. That time on the wing T sweep play, he picks up very little yardage. But watch for Fisher. He's a straightaway runner. He's got probably the best speed on the entire Division I team here, or on the blue team. And he should be a threat somewhere in this ball game.
2nd and 8 as they operate from the 37-yard line. This time they reverse fumbled, and it's loose as it was fumbled on the Charles Burrows coming around from the wing. Fumbled it. And number 76 recovering the football, Sean Rush, the 6'3", 255-pounder out of West Islip.
West Islip football goes back a long way, a long tradition of great football players, and it's just another one along the way. But Barry, as I said in the beginning of the ball game, there's our first turnover, and this could be setting up field position for the white team as we get into the midway through the first quarter here.
We'll set the white team for you. They've got an outstanding quarterback out of Kings Park, an all-county youngster, Frank Ingoglia, 6'2", 195 pounds. And they will show an interesting offense. An empty backfield right here.
Empty back. They're going to try to find the linebacker being covered by the speedster, and there they go outside.
Sean Hatcher, as he receives the quick pitch and picks up a first down, gaining about 14 yards to inside the 20, to make that inside the 30 to around the 29-yard line.
Barry, you'll see the New York Jets run that type of a set. They'll just go with no backs. They're going to find who's covered by the linebacker. They're going to find a speed guy covered by a linebacker. They're going to go to that player many times. So it's actually called an empty set with no backs in the backfield.
All right, now they do go with an I formation in the backfield. Hatcher is the tailback. Backa 48 is the fullback. And they go to the tailback. He fumbles the football as Sean Hatcher fumbles, and the blue team has come up with the turnover.
And once again, Barry, we see another turnover, this time by the blue team, picking up Sean Hatcher's fumble. Vaca throwing a big block, but him not getting the exchange from Ingoglia.
Derek Goff, number 70, comes up with the fumble recovery, the 6', 215-pounder out of William Floyd. And each team, Nick, has turned it over in the slick conditions here.
Yeah, it's tough to run an offense, first of all, when you've only practiced for 4 nights, and then it's also tough with these inclement weather conditions. Brad Rock brings out the blue team, and let's see what they go with.
All right, we'll set the defense for the white team when we have an opportunity. But Stelke and Fisher remain as the running backs. And this time they go on the belly series right up the middle. And Stelke again getting the carry, and he will gain about 3 or 4.
The belly series is safe stuff in this weather, and the blue team has used it pretty well here. Rock throws the ball. He's got a strong arm. He's running behind a pretty good offensive line. I think, historically, the League One group and the League 4 group has some of the bigger linemen every year coming from the bigger schools, but 2 and 3 have some outstanding kids, and they have some great kids at the linebacker spots here today.
They line up with a slot to the near side. Cirigliano in the slot. On the near side, they look for a quick pitch. It's to Burrows, batted down. Fine defensive play by Dan Gomez, the 6'3", 220-pounder out of Comstock, Greg Sarah.
Dan Gomez, big part of the Comstock team the last 2 years. He got his hands up there, good penetration, knocks the ball down. But Barry, what I like to see is Brad Rock is going to throw the ball, and he's been very highly touted all year. He had a rough season. Let's see what he's got in this game.
Brad being recruited by Temple, William and Mary, a couple of the schools. He's a leader. He's got a strong arm, more of a pocket passer than some of the other quarterbacks that we will see. So it sets up a 3rd down and 6. Stelke out. They'll go with more wide receivers here, and they'll go with out of the I formation right now. What do you look for here, Greg?
Look for a little play action pass here, the outside. He's going to go left. Motion on that play, Barry.
Get our first flag right here. The referee is Essig Dillard, the umpire Tony Melito, the linesman Ed McCloskey, the line judge Bob DeAngelis, the field judge Charlie McAteer, and the side judge Jim McAllister. The penalty will go against blue.
I think it's very interesting that one of the better quarterbacks in Division I is Matt Sirigliano, and he's playing tailback in this ball game. Sirigliano, to me, is probably one of the most one of the biggest threats in all of Division I. Last year as a quarterback, he had an outstanding season at Patchogue. They wound up losing to Longwood in the championship game last year. They lost to Floyd in the semifinals. But Sirigliano has been a part of some great Patchogue teams over the years.
5-yard procedure penalty, so it's 3rd and 11. See if Rock goes to the air here out of the I formation. Nope, they'll keep on the ground. Here's the toss, trying to turn the corner. And not getting very far.
Costner on the carry, tackled by 76.
And it will be a short pickup. Anthony Costner, number 33, the ball carrier. The speedster out of Connecticut. They had a couple of kids in that same backfield that could really run. Tom Fisher and Anthony Costner.
Fisher's an outstanding runner, and so is his running mate back there. Connecticut has a tremendous amount of speed in their offensive backfield. And here's our first special team play of the game, Barry, and this should be very interesting as to what goes on here, whether they're going to go. The rules say that you can't go in and block it.
Honorado is the kicker. He's fortunate that they can't go in and block it, but he's got to make a play here, and he'll try to kick it. He was tackled as he tried to get it away. So again, the wet ball, number 76, hitting him was Sean Rush. Now they scramble for that ball. And finally, on the block punt, it is picked up by Luke Grace.
And here we go, Barry. 3rd turnover of the ball game, really. I mean, that was another mistake due to inclement conditions. The ball was snapped back to the punter. He just couldn't handle it. The ball slick. So now we're looking at every time the ball has been exchanged here, it's been because of an offensive or a special team mistake.
Nick, I don't know if you and Barry saw that hit. Matt McGuire gave James Burlsich of Lindenhurst at the end of that punt, but he buried him at the end of the play. They take this game very seriously.
A single setback is Vaca, and looking to throw Ingaglia, and it's complete for a first down as he was firing for Neil Eaton Jr., I believe.
Ingoglia is a very impressive kid. I saw him warming up before the ball game. I commented to Pete Blyberg, the athletic director and the Section 11 coordinator, about how impressed I was with his arm, and there he is throwing the slant right in there for a first down.
15-yard gain to Neil Eaton Jr. is an outstanding baseball prospect. Of course, everyone knows his dad, pitcher for the New York Mets, for other baseball clubs, the Indians. Out of the single back, the big bruising fullback bangs his way for 5 yards to about the 5. He's a 6'2", 215-pounder, an all-county performer, and an exceptional blocker, but straight ahead power runner out of the Farmingdale mode.
That's right. We're going to see Farmingdale tomorrow in the Long Island Championship game against Brentwood, and their full house backfield set, nothing fancy, just old-time football. Here we are, 2nd and goal. Look for them to stay with the fullback. That's what fullbacks are for, but they come here with a one-back set, and they're not covering number 24 out here to this side, who is
3 wide receivers, they'll pitch it near side. Hatcher looking to get into the end zone, and he does. 5-yard pass to Sean Hatcher. And the first touchdown goes to the white team, and they lead 6-0.
Yeah, they weren't covering him, Barry, and that's what happens in an all-star game. You don't have the time to really get into some of the goal line looks, some of the matchups that you would like, and you wind up in some situations where you just haven't seen the formations and you can't adjust to them. So literally that receiver walked into the end zone untouched for a touchdown.
Hey, Barry, I think Nick recognized that set. A little bit of coaching experience over there, Nick.
It's been a while, though, Greg. It's been a while.
They'll line up for the extra point right here. Doing the kicking will be Jason Gouch out of East Islip. Neil Heaton, the holder. As they look to go 7-0 here, Gouch, an outstanding kicker. And the kick partially blocked low. And it remains 6-0.
Nice job there by Joe Casey, who came in to block that. A terrific job. If we have a playback on that one, that would be one that would be worth seeing again. Joe Casey breaks through the line of scrimmage, does a good job getting a hand on the ball, and blocks the extra point. And that could come back to haunt people in a game like this, where it's going to be, I believe, a close ball game.
So they take over after the turnover, Greg Sarah, and it's cashed in on the 5-yard touchdown pass for Frank Ingoglia to very speedy Sean Hatcher to win in pretty much on the left.
Sean Hatcher was the type of player this year that gave Kopeg a shot to win every game in Suffolk's Division II. He was a threat to score every time he touched the ball, and as we see there, he was left uncovered at the line of scrimmage. You give him a little bit of space, and with that separation, he's able to make a cut and get into the end zone. Big play there for the white team, scoring a touchdown.
Sean Hatcher's a good one, Greg. You know, as you say, he gave Kopeg an opportunity every time. When you have talent like that, it makes everybody look a little bit better. You can't leave somebody like that uncovered, but unfortunately, you're going to see more of that in this ball game because of the number of sets that I believe that both teams are employing.
All right, Burrows, one of the deep men back, along with Campo. And Burrows bobbles it, recovers at the 10. Burrows to the 20, and that will do it as he crosses the 20 around the 21-yard line. When the blue takes over, trailing 6-0, it'll be 1st and 10 from about the 20-yard line.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting to see now that they're behind whether or not they're going to open it up. I would try to establish some kind of a running game here and get your play action game going a little bit because they really have not established a run without making a mistake yet. I think if you try to put the ball up in the air too early, you could wind up in bad field position again.
All right, Ingoglia is 3 for 3 for 34 yards so far.
Campos and Stelky line up behind Brad Rock in the I formation.
Is the fullback, and he's blocking right now to Campos, who's running and tries the left side of the line. Not
4
much
yards
doing
on the
right
carry
there.
by Campos.
As the
Sets up
defense
the
shut
second
it
and
down
6.
real
Tackle
quick.
again by number 7.
Barry, it looks like they're going to continue to pound the ball inside and test Lucas Grace, among others, and they're going to give it a shot inside instead of throwing the ball.
You know, he's a very impressive football player, and I saw him last year on a couple of tapes where his teammate wound up winning the linebacker award, but P.J. Murray from East Islip is an outstanding player. I happen to have played with his father in high school, Pete Murray, who I see here in the stands. P.J. is 6'4", 235. He's got to be a Division I candidate. He's really an outstanding linebacker who's had a great career. And there's your...
Off the exchange, and it's recovered by number 62.
Gavin from West Islip gives the white team
Greg
10 on the 20.
Harry is listed as number 62 for the white team. And of Half Hollow Hills West, 6'1", 265-pounder.
So here we go with a turnover again, and it puts the white team in great situation here. Look for them to try to take advantage of it. And let's see that, you'll probably see that set again, Greg, where they go to single back because they did not cover Hatcher the last time, so they'll probably come back to that again, and let's see if the blue team makes an adjustment to it. We have the same quarterback into the ball game, and the white team comes to the line of scrimmage looking for their second score of the game.
Greg?
Same problem before, Barry. Bad exchange. I think the white team's going to keep it in the air. They're going to open it up. That's a nice throw.
Wide open, finds his receiver for the touchdown. Brett Lawrence. Adam Komsuog, the 6', 180-pounder, who plays wingback, but out as a flanker there, and a well-thrown ball, and it's 12-0 as the white jumps in front.
And blue team's having a very difficult time adjusting the sets, and they really don't have the personnel in the ball game to do it. This is the kind of sets, Barry, where you want to bring extra defensive backs into the game. When people go wide on you like that, you want to maybe take some personnel out of the game, bring some faster people in. But in an all-star game, you just don't have the time to do it. I'm impressed with Ingoglia. He throws the ball really well. He's thrown a slant, and then that one, and then the touchdown throw before. He can really throw the football. I'm very impressed with him. He threw that one on the run to his left.
2 turnovers by the blue team, and they've been made to pay. Actually, they've turned it over 3 times. Once they were able to avoid giving up some points. They're going for 2 right here. Ingoglia will hand off, and this is Collins fumbles the football into the end zone. Doesn't matter at any rate. The extra point try goes awry.
I think that was the diminutive Jamal Adams of Deer Park who got popped as he entered the line of scrimmage there, Barry. A very interesting rule that we have here in the PAL All-Star game is when you're leading by more than 9 points, you kick off. Now, if the blue team scores here and cuts the gap to under 9 points, they'll still have to kick off. But if the white team scores again and the blue team scores, they'll have to kick off 2 times in a row.
All right, interesting rules. Sort of, I remember like the blue-gray rules that they played down in the All-Star game in Alabama.
That's right, the old blue-gray game, which is no longer one of the highlighted games with all the different bowl games. So that used to be a big game around the Christmas holidays to watch that blue-gray game, and a lot of pros came out of that game, and it was a big NFL scouting combine, actually.
What's the number on the right here, guys? 24?
So a couple of touchdown passes by Frank Ingoglia. He hit Sean Hatcher with a 5-yard TD pass, and then after the second turnover, a 20-yard TD pass to Brent Lawrence. So the blue team needs to hang on to the football.
They need a little spark here. They need either Sirigliano or Fisher to get it moving on the kickoff return.
Murray's kickoff.
P.J. Murray's kick short, and taken at the 12-yard line by Fisher to the 20, looking for some blocking. They're checking Sirigliano on the return. And he's tackled by several tacklers as he gets to around the 23-24-yard line. What'll be 1st and 10 for Blue. And we'll see what happens here. They need something to get going. Brad Rock coming out, the youngster from Smithtown, to see if he can get the attack going.
You know, it's so funny seeing Sirigliano with number 24. I'm used to watching him with number 7 on, coming out there, running a big Patchogue offense with Derek Rossi, who's now up at Boston College, and all of the great running backs that they had over there, and a great run that they had at Patchogue for about a 3-year period.
We'll set the offensive line for you in just a moment. As Rock has new backs in the backfield right now.
John Glenn High School.
Gross out of John Glenn High School is in. Gross gets the handoff. Tries to turn outside. Excellent pursuit as they strung it out beautifully.
Jonathan Gross is stopped for a
And he
gain of
stopped
1.
after a gain of 1 on the play. And a good job that time by Curtis Williams coming up from the secondary. The outstanding, maybe one of the best athletes on Long Island, making the stop grade.
He absolutely took over that Huntington offense this year with Jamal Collins being hurt for most of the beginning of the season. He rushed for 1,200 yards. Curtis Williams was a great defensive player, 3 interceptions in a game against Deer Park. He's a big-time hitter. He comes up. He's fast. He's not afraid to take a hit. He's one of the main reasons why Huntington went to the championship game in Suffolk Division III.
Well, unfortunately, they were upset by a very good Amityville team. Now, late in bringing the play in from the sideline, Mike Sirigliano as Joe Cornett had come out of the lineup. 7:20 to go in this first quarter, and the white team leading 12-0 after a pair of touchdown passes by Ingoglia, 1 to Hatcher and 1 to Lawrence, both coming off blue turnovers. So Divisions 2 and 3 trailing Divisions 1 and 4 here in Suffolk in the 26th annual PAL High School Football All-Star Game. Joe Olive now is the fullback, Gross the tailback, and Rock to throw. Looking to screen it out, throws near side to Gross. Gross has the first down, turns it outside. And Gross still going and wrestled down after a huge gain by Curtis Williams in the open field.
Great play by Williams, saving that from being a touchdown. And I'll tell you what, very nice call down there. People are coming at you. They've been very aggressive. They've gotten a couple of turnovers from the blue team. A very good call by the offensive coordinator, Vin Amatrato from Mount Sinai. And now they're in great field position. They're on the 40-yard line and looking to get something going offensively. I think that also gives you a little confidence. You complete a pass, now you're ready to roll.
All right, let's see what happens. They work with the split backfield. Rock the quarterback, and handing off inside, trying to turn upfield is Joe Olive, the 5'10", 215-pounder, who is out of Mount Sinai. Siena and Bryant, a couple of schools. This all-county running back is looking for us. McGuire, one of the tacklers.
One of the things that's interesting is that we said that the blue team was not covering the white team's wide receivers down here when they went to wide sets. This was not even a wide set, and Sirigliano was not covered that particular time. Look for the blue team to take advantage of that and get the ball out to Sirigliano quickly.
Greg LaFleur has come into the game, number 21, along with Alex Otero, the bruising Patchogue Medford fullback. He'll stay in the backfield right now, 6'3", 240. He's the fullback. And Anthony Coster out of Connecticut is the tailback. And they go to the big fullback. Had a little trouble with his footing. Otero stopped. He'll gain maybe a half yard, if that much, as he was stopped after he got the ball inside the 40. Luckman made the tackle, and that's a name familiar to football fans.
That's right. That's right. And Sid Luckman, but also Barry Luckman, who was the coach at Half Hollow Hills West, and I believe that's his son who plays for the West Islip Lions.
Right. His son is playing on the team, and it was Barry's father was actually a first cousin of Sid Luckman, the great player from Brooklyn who went on to star Columbia and the Chicago Bears.
Of course, Barry many years in Suffolk County as a coach, assistant coach at Central Islip, Brentwood, and this year at Half Hollow Hills West.
Rock looking, throwing deep down the sideline, up the middle, incomplete.
And
the pass intended for Sirigliano. We've got a flag on the play. It'll be pass interference.
Sirigliano is virtually not covered. He's got a free trip off the line of scrimmage. If that happens to be on a replay, you can take a look that Sirigliano is not even touched at the line of scrimmage, and he's had that room all day long.
You know, they got a break on that, too, because that ball wasn't well thrown. It was underthrown, in fact, but there was face guarding, so they'll get the penalty.
So face guarding going against the white team. That'll give them a first down, as it was Evan Raftery, I believe, number 21, the free safety, who was back there defending. So it'll be coming up a third down.
One of the things that you have to do as a defensive back is that you have to play the football. You can't play the receiver. Whether you touch him or not, the fact that you're face guarding him is in essence pass interference. You have to make a play on the football. You have as much right to the football as the receiver does, but you have to make sure that he has that right also.
So they've moved the ball to the 20-yard line on the automatic first down. And let's set that offensive line for the center is Kevin Beasley out of Greenport High School, big number 66. The guards are James Berlowich and Joe Carbone, and we'll pick up the rest of them. Stelke trying to bounce off the left side of the line, stopped as he got to around the 15-yard line by George McClare.
Right now, Barry, the blue team is in scoring range. Chris Honorato, the Sachem field goal kicker, is well within his range. He can boot it from 50 yards, and they're very close for a field goal.
You know what's interesting, Barry? These kids are only together for about 4 or 5 days. They had a breakfast before they came here today. But you take a look, they're not even on their helmets. They have their team helmets, but they share decals with each other. They go away. Some of these kids will be friends for the rest of their lives because of this ball game. And that's really what this football game is all about.
Out of the I formation on 2nd and 5. Rock handing off. Fisher trying to get that extra yard. Good second effort. Great leg drive, and he got perhaps the first down, maybe to the 10-yard line on second effort.
Tim Fisher is an outstanding running back. He's had a great career at Connecticut. He really loves the game of football. He runs track also, but he loves football. I once talked to Nick Massey, who was their coach prior to this year, and he told me the kid literally sleeps with a football. I mean, he loves the game of football. He sees himself as a football player, and he's got tremendous speed. If he were to break that last tackle there, I'm sure he would have been standing in the end zone.
Alex Otero is coming to the ball game at fullback. And it'll be a third and short play, so really 2 down territory here. They go with a slot to the right side. Let's see if Rock looks that way. Instead, he'll go to the fullback. Otero not getting his footing again, driven back. Looks like we'll see if he's shy of the first down. I don't think the forward progress, although they're marking it at the exact 10-yard line.
It's the old John Madden trick. If you put the goal line foot forward, it's going to be a first down. If you put the other foot forward, it's going to be a stop, and it looks like it's a stop this down. It's 4th and inches. It's going to be interesting who they go to. This is what fullbacks are made for, Barry. You're going to go to the fullback here. You're not going to try to do too much. Either that or they're going to quarterback sneak it.
Well, they've changed backs, Frank Campos, and what do you look for, Greg, here?
You know, I'd like to see you play action. I'd like to see him open it up here and stop trying to pound that middle.
All right, Otero will be the fullback, power I backfield.
I'll tell you what, Greg.
Campos is the tailback. And rolling, Rock looking to throw. He's got a man in the end zone wide open. And it's dropped. Rob Newell, number 80, was in the end zone wide open.
It's a good thing you interrupted me, Barry, because I was just going to say there's no way on earth they're going to throw a play-action pass, and here they go. They throw the play-action pass. I guess they want excitement in the ballgame. Personally, I would have given it to the fullback or a quarterback sneaked it and lived to play another 4 downs.
They were having a tough time, Greg, though, moving it up the middle on the fullback trap.
Yeah, they were having a really tough time getting their footing. Otero fell down twice going as he approached the line of scrimmage. That was a great play call, except Brad Rock put too much air under that football and gave the defense a chance to get back and knock it away.
2:35 to go, first quarter. White with the ball, representing conferences 2 and 3, or check that 1 and 4. And right now they are leading.
Again, this is a big football weekend, Barry. The games at Hofstra have really taken off. We've got some great matchups coming up this weekend. We've got this Brentwood-Farmingdale matchup, and you've seen both teams, especially Farmingdale. What do you think about what's going to happen over there? I haven't really seen the Nassau teams as much as maybe you have.
Remember, this is going to be on tape. December 4th. We're talking about tomorrow.
Again, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, we'll
tomorrow.
cut that one out.
We'll cut that out, fellas.
It stopped raining, I think.
University at 11 o'clock a.m.
And weatherman Greg Sarah, folks, tells us it stopped raining too.
Yeah, you're not on tape.
Add that to the meteorology. We'll stop tape right there.
Call me Frank Field.
There's a break in the action. We'll pick up the action later in the first quarter.
Taking on the Farmingdale Dells. Saturday.
This is the rule that I'm talking about.
This is hard to do without a monitor.
Right, I know.
Let's just you gotta live a little breathing room.
Right. Great
They
weekend.
get on offense. If they score,
They get the ball.
well, they kick off, and if they score, they got to kick off again. That's it. They got to get it to 9. If I ended up 12.
All right, we pick up the action right now. It is an empty backfield for Frank Ingolia as they take over, trailing by a score of 12-0.
Heaton split wide to the left.
And looking to
On the
throw.
roll.
On the roll. And Ingolia will go out of bounds, picking up a first down, a gain, nick of about 15 yards on the play.
The Kings Park quarterback Ingolia is really an outstanding player. I would say right now that he's been the difference of this ball game. His ability to elude the pass rushers, his ability to throw the ball quickly. He's done a terrific job. At this point in the ball game, he's probably the reason that the white team is out in front.
Barry, as Amityville marches into the Long Island Class 3 championship game, that almost wasn't a possibility because of Frank Ingolia and the Kingsmen.
No doubt, Kings Park almost beat Amityville. Amityville had to come up with 2 great wins to get into the playoffs. And straight up the middle, a big hole for the bruising Jerry Vaca as he picks up about 8 yards on the play. Trevor Campbell on the tackle, number 46. He's a safety, and he almost was able to break that if he had a little more speed.
Vaca was the type of kid that could help West Islip control the ball, control the tempo. They had a methodical offense, and he was the reason why they were able to keep really potent offenses off the field from North Babylon, Bellport, East Islip.
So it'll be now 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. And Ingolia, quick pitch to the near side, has his man open again. And Hatcher taken down after he picked up about 7 yards on the play, setting up a second down. And let's see if they gave him 9 on the play. So it'll be second and let's call it about 1.5 yards, Nick.
Now here's a great play action down for you, Greg, right here. A 2nd and 1. This is a great play action down. Now they'll probably give it to the fullback, but they're not covering Hatcher again. I think somebody of that ability, you've got to get somebody in his face. You can't give him a free release off the line of scrimmage like that. There they are, empty backs again, and nobody's covering them to this point.
So it'll be second down, and let's call it 1.5 yards, and Ryan Ingolia goes to the air again. Neil Heaton, who's got terrific hands, a first down, an 11-yard gain to the 45-yard line. And Neil Heaton, who's probably going to have a career in baseball like his dad, a terrific football player as well.
Neil Heaton's a good all-around athlete. He's got a terrific set of hands. He's a great baseball player. I saw him last year in the baseball playoffs with Bellport and the year before, and of course with his father having been a major leaguer. But again, here's Ingolia from Kings Park just delivering all the time. He's really been the focus of this white team offense, and I am so impressed with him.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Final minute of this first quarter with the white team leading 12-0. Flag on the play as Hatcher tries the left side and taken down after a gain of about 3. As we'll get a penalty call coming up here. And number 64 in the tackle, Joel McKay out of Longwood, 6'3", 225-pounder, but let's wait for the penalty. Goglia, by the way, is 6 for 6 for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns, and has also rushed for 12 yards. Illegal motion penalty against the Whites, so that will negate the first down and drive him back.
I think the blue team right now has got to figure out an answer to Ngoglia and these receivers. They've got to get some people up in their face, or they're going to wind up having problems. Right now, the white team is mixing the run and the pass very well, and Ngoglia is going to go on the early downs and spread them and see who's not being covered, and he's going to get the ball to them.
Aside from Ingolia doing such a great job, I'm really not surprised with the talent leaning towards Division 2 and 3 at this point, because Division 2 in Suffolk this year was just so powerful. They were 7 teams deep, and this is pretty indicative of how strong they are. They are dominating this game in the first quarter.
And they've got a quarterback who could throw. Usually you think of those divisions, it's black and blue football. Here we go now on 1st and 15. Back of the single setback. Golia lobbing it off the hand of Garrett Noblet, the 6'5", 225-pound tight end from Deer Park.
Deer Park is always famous for having a tight end. They do a great job over the years having had great tight ends. In fact, Ron Langella, the coach at West Babylon, was once a tight end at Deer Park High School, and he's in a fine line of tight ends that they produce. They throw to their tight end. Again, though, you're going to see that Hatcher is being left alone.
He lines up in a slot to the right side. Curtis Williams now in the backfield. And a miscommunication on the snap from center with Matt Lissigar, the center. And let's give you that offensive line for the white team, guys who don't get a whole lot of recognition in these kind of games. Lissigar, 65, is the center. Ben Sklar, number 54, out of Hauppauge, is the right guard. The left guard is Mark Brunza out of East Islip. And the tackles are huge. Paul Thompson, number 72, 6'6", 285-pounder out of Huntington, a finalist for the Zellner Award. And also a huge guy, maybe the best on the offensive line, Dave D'Ambria, 6'3", 285 out of Comstock. He, too, a finalist for the Zellner Award.
Well, you have 2 Zellner finalists on an offensive line. That's a pretty good group. And both of those high schools have had a history of having great offensive linemen, both Huntington and Comstock.
5-yard walk-off, so it's 2nd and 20. Again, the single setback miscue, and trying to pick it up, Curtis Williams, and he will be snowed under. Back at the 30-yard line, a loss of 15 on the play.
Again, a little razzle-dazzle here because it's an all-star game. I don't know if you do that during the regular season, but they put Ngoglia in motion, snapped the ball back to the tailback, and the ball, not being used to being snapped there on a regular basis, went over the receiver's head.
He totally took his eye off the ball, and he was looking left to run before he had the ball.
And on that play, the first quarter has come to an end. You are watching the 26th Annual Suffolk County Police Athletic High School All-Star Game from the University at Stony Brook.
Tommy Black was telling
Yeah, and later I had edited right. I would assume, but that's what we need to give him a little breathing in between plays to know to edit.
Otherwise, it's
Because you were like calling for replays, and then we didn't have it, you know. Where's Dandy Don when we need him? Where's Kosa? I hated to work with Nick. Nick was a pain in the you-know-what when I worked with him years ago. I tried to get him into broadcasting. Come on, Nick. But that Greg Sarrett Newsday wrote a bad Stan Isaacs piece of it.
I stay away from the negative stuff. Hey, did you see Tom Black was on the sideline screaming at the kid Vernon Brown to move up on Hatcher on the last series? You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up.
You go like 4 receivers. They gotta have a line.
Oh, Moglia? Thanks. Tough article. Tough one, you know?
They can't all these wide sets they can't cover.
Going to give you a countdown to start the second quarter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second quarter action about to unfold. Barry Landers along with Nick Schroeder, the former Suffolk County coordinator, and Greg Sarah, the fine sports writer for Newsday. It's 3rd and 35 as they begin the second quarter. New quarterback here. Justin Halpin from Bellport High School has checked into the game. He's 5'11", 170-pounder, and he puts it in the air, and not a good choice, almost intercepted as he threw it up for grabs that time, and it was almost intercepted by John Lundy out of Sachem.
John Lundy is an outstanding linebacker for Sachem. He does a great job. He's a very smart kid. He's very tough. Sachem football this year made the playoffs by being the number 2 seeded team coming in and having a pretty good season, really getting off to a slow start and having them battle their way back to make the playoffs, and Lundy had a good season for them.
So we'll get a punt for the white team. And from Deer Park High School, Garrett Noblet, number 90, will be doing the punting. And he'll punt from about the 20-yard line. They've got a couple of speedsters back to receive the kick.
DeQuinn Hardy is a great punt return man.
Hardy back there, and the kick high, short, and they'll hit off a white player at around the 48-yard line. So the blue team, Greg Sarah, will have excellent field position to try to get something started, trailing 12-0 in this game.
Well, we hope the blue team can drive down the field here and make this interesting, because it's a little bit more exciting when we have a close game, right, Barry?
And no question about it. So Joe Stelke, let's see if he's in the game. He has run the ball 5 times for 19 yards. Jerry Vaca for the white team, 3 carries for 17 yards. As we got a new quarterback, Jeff Holderline, a guy you're familiar with, out of Sachem High School.
Yeah, Jeff was their quarterback this season. He did a good job. He led them to the playoffs as Sachem made the playoffs for the 19th consecutive year.
And we'll pick up the other players who have checked in right now as they go to the near side. Jonathan Gross out of John Glenn High School, the 5'10", 160-pounder who is considering Columbia, Penn, and Yale. Excellent student, an all-county performer for 2 years, picks up about 5 yards as he crosses the midfield and brought down at around the 48-yard line. And he's brought down after a nice pickup.
Gross plays for Coach Shanahan over at John Glenn. Shanahan himself was a great Sachem player, and then later went on to play at C.W. Post. And Gross, an outstanding student who should be an Ivy League player by next year.
2nd and 5. They go to the fullback inside, and it'd be shy of the first down. Almost lost the handle there.
You know, Barry, they're running those swing tee attack, and I think one of the things they're going to have to start to do is get the quarterback out there on the bootleg, attacking the perimeter of the defense. So far, it's been an interior type of offense for the blue team.
Joe Olive picking up short yardage, so it'll be 3rd and 3. And let's see if they go to the air here. Joe Cornett, who's a tremendous receiver out of John Glenn, is going to line up to the near side, but we will get a timeout called right here as Ben Amarato from Mount Sinai, with the rest of his outstanding staff. Tony Cusimano from Wyandanch, Rob Jakalski from Bayport Blue Point, Ray McCann from Shore and Wading River, and Adam DeWitt from Mount Sinai, all on the offensive side of the ball. And the offense, Nick's got to get something going here.
They certainly do. Tony Cusimano does a great job. I can't tell you how many times Wyandanch has won the Sportsmanship Award in Suffolk County. Bob Jakalski has coached this game a number of times. He's the Bayport Blue Point head coach. Ray McCann is the head coach at Shoreham Wading River. And then Adam DeWitt is an assistant at Mount Sinai. All of them have wing tee experience, and that's why they have this offense in there. But I think, Barry, you're going to have to see this team open it up a little bit. They're behind by 2 scores, and they can't afford to go behind by a third.
And they've got a big 3rd down play coming up here, Greg Sarah.
I'd like to see them give Charles Burrows the ball on a misdirection play. He's off to the left side of the wing. He's scored on 3 touchdowns this year on reverse plays for Southampton.
All right, now they line up in an interesting formation, offset I, 3rd and 3. Now the officials have stopped play here. Campo is in the game, number 20, as one of the backs. And lining up as a wide receiver is Joe Cornett.
And you talk about the offensive line. Those kids don't get enough credit. We'll talk about them in just a minute.
All right, let's see what they do with on 3rd down here. Fake to Campo, play action, looking downfield for Cornett, and it is deflected and almost picked off. Back there defending on the play was number 24, and on the coverage that time as it was intended for Joe Cornett, and it goes incomplete, as we'll have a key 4th down play. But back there defending was Peter Giattino from Hopod.
On that play, Burrows broke loose down the middle of the field towards the skinny post, and Holderlin was locked in on Gross. Instead of looking back to the middle of the field, he had him open, and now we're going to get to see Neil Heaton Jr., one of the fabulous kick returners in Suffolk County this year. He's returned 5 kicks for touchdowns.
Well, they're going to go for it. He's back there, deep secondary, but they're going for it on 4th and 3, and now we'll get a timeout taken by White. White was not prepared. They had their punt return team in there.
Very good timeout. I think one of the things, again, you get in an all-star game, you can't prepare for that. Normally in special teams during the season, you better teach your special teams kids to jump into your regular defense. It's a little thing that has to be coached, but you may get in a situation in a ball game where your punt return people have to come up and become defensive backs. One of of the people that does a great job with that is Fred Fusaro over at Sachem. They practice their special team going on the field and then having to play either an offensive or a defensive down.
One of the rules in this game is that there's no blitzing allowed, so that also affects the play selection, Greg Sarah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want Harry Carey up on a line with the guys coming through gaps, blitzing gaps, and causing all sorts of havoc in the backfield. They've only really had 2 days to prepare with the team that they picked. They had 2 tryout dates and then 2 days of practice, so it's tough to get an offense together.
All right, they will do the punt from Sachem High School. Back to do the punting is Honorado. Fake. They've got it and more as Gross goes down the sideline. The exciting Jonathan Gross, the speedster, picks up the first down and more on the fake. So the razzle-dazzle works there at the 19-yard line, a pickup of, I think at the 25-yard line, about a pickup of around 20 yards.
Yeah, very nice call. They have to get back into the ball game, Barry, and they've got to get something going, and that's a good way to take advantage. You talk about the rules. Because they can't bring people to block the punt, they're laying back a little bit, and so they picked up the first down.
Big play right there. Alex Otero.
Honorado gets a little bit of credit for that. He faked that. He played that fake out really well, the punter.
Olive in motion to the left.
Here's the pitch. Anthony Costa trying to use his speed, but excellent pursuit brought down by Rodney Myrick, the 5'9", 190-pounder out of Deer Park High School.
Very difficult to get outside in today's conditions. Grass field, a lot of mud. Only a real burner who's got good traction is going to make it to the end and turn that corner.
So it'll set up a 2nd and 9 from the 24. And again, they will make changes in the lineup here. Number 32, Joe Cornett coming in, replacing Greg LaFleur as the wide receiver. And lining up to the top on the left side is Joe Cornett. Backs are split. Fisher and Olive in the backfield. And they go inside to Joe Olive up the middle, and he gets to about the 15. Almost the first down would be shy by a yard.
Nice job, and we've got a 3rd down situation coming up here, Barry. Olive did a terrific job second effort-wise, good forward lean, typical fullback type of play, and a real conservative call. But now you have a chance, Greg, 3rd and a little bit to go. Here's another one. You want to take a shot at the end zone and come back and get it on 4th, or what?
I am a big fan of play action and misdirection, but I got a feeling they're going to go right up the gut this one.
All right, LaFleur winds up wide to the left, slot to the right side. And they will stay on the ground, trying to bounce off the tackle. Heading toward the end zone is Fisher, but down inside the 10 at around the 8-yard line. So Tommy Fisher, that time, able to use his speed to turn the corner before he's driven down. As Sampson from Hills West made the tackle, it'll be goal to go. As Steve Sampson, the 5'10", 170-pounder, the captain of Hills West, who's an excellent athlete heading to New Hampshire, made the stop.
Barry, I've seen Fisher do that so many times. You think you have him in the grass, he bounces off and accelerates to the outside, and what looks like a good defensive play becomes a pickup for the offense.
Fisher almost carried Connecticut to the playoffs.
All right, let's see what they do here. Alex Otero in the ball game as the fullback. Otero blocking for Campo, or Costa rather, and Costa trying to turn the corner. And he is! Campos into the end zone. Touchdown. Frank Campos with the touchdown run. The 5'10", 190-pounder from Bayport. They say he runs a nice trap, but that time he ran the corner.
He ran the sweep that time, the wing T sweep, got outside. They did not have good leverage on him. They got hooked to the inside, and he wound up walking in really for the score. Now, this is going to be interesting, Coach Sarah. What do you think here? You go for 2 or 1? I go for 1 right here because you still have to come back and try to get another touchdown.
Yeah, 2 really doesn't make a difference here. I think the right thing is to get 1, and we get a chance to see Honorado, one of the better kickers we've seen out here in a very long time.
Young man out of Sachem High School, 6'4", 215. He's got the size, and he will kick right now. Out of the hold of number 24, Peter Giattino of Papa.
Number 24 from Patch on the hold, and Chris Honorado, number 10 from Sachem, will do the kicking.
Here's the kick up, and it is good. So 12-7 is our score, and the Blue didn't take long to drive down the field and put some points on the board.
Very nice job. They did a terrific job. They got Fisher bounced to the outside a little bit. They established the sweep. They did a good job with second effort running, and here they are on the board. And Barry, when I see 12, I'm always scared for the team that's leading.
We'd like to welcome to us
Very important to convert on those extra points, 2-point conversions and kicks. And right now, the white team hasn't converted on both extra points, so that could be a problem down the road.
So a 60-yard drive culminated on the 5-yard run for a touchdown by Frank Campos, the 5'10" on 90-pounder out of Bayport High School, one of the smaller schools. Springfield and Cortland, two of the schools that Frank's interested in, all-county performer.
You know, some mention should be given to the people who coach this game, Barry, because they really don't get paid for this. They come out, they really have just completed their own high school season, and they come out here to do this game, and here they are on Thanksgiving morning after putting in 4 or 5 days of practicing with kids that are not even in their own school. So my word goes out for all of them.
Williams and Heaton, you see the kick of Honorado that Greg Sarah was talking about, his kind of foot out of the end zone, as Curtis Williams and Neil Heaton Jr. were back there. And we'll pick up the action right now at the 20-yard line.
You know, Barry, you see a lot of kickers out there in the NFL that can't get it inside the 10, and this kid consistently kicks it through the end zone. That's a weapon.
No question about it. What do you look for the white team right now? They were successful moving the ball. They've got a new quarterback in, Justin Halpin, who came in at a terrible situation because the blue defense really had pushed the white team back at 3rd and 35. What do you look for from Halpin? He's a little different style quarterback.
Well, I would hope this is an all-star game, Barry, and I hope they open it up a little bit, get maybe the running game going, get a little more field position, and remember, this is for the kids, not necessarily for the score.
Jamal Adams gets the call. Tripped up on a fine defensive play by number 47, Clinton Mellis, one of the real fine linebackers. They've got a real good couple of outside linebackers, Ethan Smith, Clinton Mellis, and Andy Baez, making up the linebacking crew right now for the team, coached by Tom Black on the defense.
One of the very athletic quarterbacks in Suffolk County this year is Justin Halpin. He can throw it, he can run it, good play action. His favorite receiver is in the game, Neil Heaton, split to the left.
He's a very accurate passer. Millison now in the ball game. Millison as the fullback. Millison blocking as Hatcher tries to turn outside. Hatcher with excellent speed down close to the first down. Sean Hatcher, who's a big-time prospect, Maryland, North Carolina State, and Iowa. A couple of the people very interested in him as he picked up about 7 on the play. Daquan Hardy from the secondary came up and made the stop.
Yeah, Daquan Hardy is not only a great punt return man, he's an outstanding defensive back. He was a key member last year of Longwood's undefeated Long Island championship team.
So it'll set up 3rd and 2 from the 28-yard line. The white team leading 12-7, representing Suffolk County's Division I, and a big pile up that time. At the line of scrimmage, they stuffed them again. And let's see who was in there. 77, I believe, was one of the guys who was in there, along Joe Casey and Dan Sable. Dan Sable, Greg Sarah, a guy you're very familiar with in the wrestling world as well.
An outstanding wrestler for Longwood High School. He was a county champion last year. We expect a lot out of him this year as far as Suffolk County wrestling. He's going to move up to the heavyweight class and look to gain that championship. Very tough interior lineman.
Brian Millison stuffed on that play, setting up a 4th and inches. They're going to go for it at the 29-yard line. And the quarterback will keep Halpin trying to get across the yard marker. And it looks like the forward progress will be given to him. But that was a gutsy call. You're talking about going for broke here.
I don't know about
Ladder, who is a guy said, this is a game for the kids. Let's have some fun, a little razzle-dazzle. And they went for it.
Yeah, they went for it. I guess in an all-star game you can do that without having to go and explain your call later on because you'll never see these kids again.
Last year we had the razzle-dazzle with the Porch F sideline, and the kids from Bayport did their own razzle-dazzle. It didn't work out. It ended up being the winning touchdown for the other team. And I had them call Newsday saying, we didn't call the play. The kids did it on their own.
Aaron Daniels now in the game as the tailback, and Daniels will be stuffed in the backfield. Wow, what penetration that time. Again, Dan Sable, he must have heard you. Looked like he was wrestling a guy to the mat. A pin there for Dan Sable right there.
Once Dan Sable has a hold of you, you're finished.
Well, Dan Sable with the tackle. He's got great lateral movement, and we saw it right there.
Yeah, Sable's a good all-around athlete. You see him on a wrestling mat, you realize what a good football player he is just watching him wrestle. He's got good lateral movement. He's one of the better wrestlers in Suffolk County.
He emerged last year in the Long Island Class 1 championship game. He actually had 2 sacks in that game as a reserve.
So right now, it is 2nd and 12 from the 27-yard line. Milison staying in the game as the fullback, new tailback. Adams, Jamal Adams, play action, and he throws to the fullback, Milison, well covered on the play. Even had he been able to hold on to the ball, but it will be a completion for about no gain at all on the play.
See, Greg, you're 2nd and 15 or 16. That play action does nothing. That doesn't hold anybody. Just get back there. If you're going to throw the ball, get back there and throw the ball. That's the time to really open it up and try to pick up the yardage. If people are not going to bite on the play action when you're 2nd or 3rd and a long way to go.
Neil Heaton has checked back into the lineup as he's flanked as a receiver to the right side, slot to the near side, 3 wide receivers, trips left, and a screen pass to Hatcher, bobbles the ball. Is it a lateral? Let's see what the officials rule. It appears that they're going to rule it a lateral. Let's see who recovered it. This is a big pileup for that fumble. And waiting to see if Blue has it. It's like Blue apparently has it. They're ruling it a lateral. And let's see who's coming up with that football there. And 93, I think, is the man who came up with it. Chris Mealy, the 5'10", 200-pounder out of Northport High School.
I never was a big fan of that particular play, Greg. I don't like throwing that ball out to the side. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it down the field, or you're going to throw the slant, or at least get something up the field a little bit. That's a dangerous situation.
The last 2 passes have been short, and that pretty much takes Halpin out of what he does best, is he improvises. He's a great runner when he comes out of the pocket. He has good field vision on the run. They have him setting up on a straight drop back, and that's not Halpin's game.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. The quarterback is Jeff Holderline. And Holderline handing off to Joe Stelke. Stelke off the left side of the line plows his way for about 5 yards before he's brought down at around the 16-yard line, setting up a 2nd and 5.
We're going to talk about that offensive line for the blue team because they're really fired up right now. We've got John Woods at one of the tackles, Mike Densing, James Berlowich from Northport, who's an outstanding player, Kevin Beasley, Joe Carbone, and some of the people that also come off the bench. We'll talk about them a little bit later.
All right now they line up with number 82, the dangerous Charles Burrows, as a wide receiver left side, 2 receivers to the near side. Otero and Gross. This is Otero trying to turn it outside, and he's driven down on the play. And looked like big number 66, Henry Rafferty, 5'11", 215-pounder out of Hills East, rode him down, did a good job.
Good defensive line play because what he did is he didn't stay blocked on that, Barry. He was blocked. He was initially not there to make the play, but he stayed with it. He fought off in a stalemate situation and made the play.
All right, now Joe Olive has come in replacing Stelke, or rather Otero, in the lineup. Gross, number 18, he's the speedster, 3rd and 5, and they go to the fullback, and he stuffed. Joe Olive, Greg Sarin just stuffed right on the play.
Oh, they're going to keep pounding that middle. They have their slot back wide open. The defensive back is 7 yards off him. All he needs is a little wide receiver screen there for the first down, but I guess they're trying to dominate inside the trenches, and they did get the first down with that run.
They did pick it up. The white team is not all that big. You've got guys like Amin Man at 5'7", 165 playing at a tackle, Gavin Luckman, who's a stocky 5'9", 180. And then you go to Sean Rush, who's pretty big at 255 as the other tackle. But they're not a big team in terms of linemen, as big as the blue team. And they look for Burrows in the flat, and it is going to be complete inside the 5 to around the 4-yard line, a gain of 6, Nick.
There's a nice timing pattern on the out pattern. The quarterback Holland delivered it right on the money, and almost looked like that was a Sachem receiver for him. They really timed that one terrifically. It was about a 5-yard play, turned to the outside, 3-step drop, delivered the ball on the money. They're running to the left, Barry, who it might be interesting to mention number 63 and number 65 for the blue team, who they've run the ball to the left consistently.
Oh, that time they're stuffed in the backfield. Nothing doing. Anthony Coster, I believe, was the man who was as Ferguson. came up with the tackle.
All right, Greg, here we go. They've been in the I formation. I think now you're going to see some play action stuff. We got a third down. I think they're going to fake one of these inside plays. Going to get the quarterback attacking on the corner, get the best of both worlds, the opportunity to run or to throw the ball.
But would you move Holderlin? Would you have him straight drop back, or would you have him roll right here and look for a receiver dragging across the back of the end zone?
All right, we'll see, gentlemen, if either of you are correct. Nick, on 3rd and 6, Cornette back in. They're going to have to call a timeout. Mix-up right there. Now, Nick, you'll have a chance to tell us.
Okay. What I think you're going to see is I think that you'll see them fake something inside, okay, because they still have fourth down to get it if they want, okay. But I think they'll fake something inside, and I think on the next down, Greg, you'll see them just take a shot at the end zone from some 3-step drop or something like that. But I think down here, what you want to do is get your quarterback so he's got the opportunity to run to that corner, run to that flag if he can, or drop the ball off to a number of receivers. You'll usually see somebody at the back of the end zone, somebody into the flat, and somebody crossing from the other side.
The Blue has really taken control of this game. The momentum, Holderlin has given them the spark that they need. Actually, the Blue team could have scored earlier on a drive on 4th down, and Brad Rock put a little bit too much air under that pass. That was knocked away on 4th down in the back of the end zone. So here's an opportunity for them to take the lead.
We pick up the action later here in quarter number 2.
Third quarter, please support the Suffolk County Football Coaches Association.
So we have a 3rd down and 6 situation. Goal-to-go situation right here. As they look to get into the scoreboard, put some points on the board. Otero and Fisher out of the I formation. Wide receivers to the left and the right on 3rd and 6. And again, we have whistles on the play as the officials will stop the action or potential action here.
See, Greg, when you get down on the goal line here, and you play a lot of man-to-man, particularly in a game like this.
All right, 3rd and 6. Otero motioning, pitch to Fisher, kind of gets him blocking, and again, great open field tackle by number 16, Curtis Williams.
Curtis Williams, as good as he is as an offensive player, I believe he's got a career at the college level as a defensive back. He's a sure tackler. He's able to do a great job against the pass, but his tackling ability, Greg, I wasn't aware of that.
No, he's an exceptional tackler, but the guy that made that play was 55 McGuire of Comswag. He stuffed the fullback, and Matt McGuire actually created that space for Curtis Williams to come up and make that tackle.
All right, we're going to get a field goal attempt of 26 yards. Honorado to attempt. And we'll get the attempt here from the 26-yard line. Ball down, the kick on the way, it is up, and it is no good. Wide to the left. And the score remains 12-7 with 2:46 to go here in quarter number 2.
You know, one of the things, Barry, that the kids are wearing on their helmets for this game is they have a sticker with Joe on it, and that's in memory of Joe Dooley, who was an outstanding football official here. And I can't remember an all-star game in the 27 years that it's been played that Joe Dooley wasn't one of the officials. He got sick last year and the year before. Obviously, he didn't do the game last year, but he always gave of his time to the PAL, to Suffolk County football, and never did he get a penny for any of that. And all of the things that he did over the year, these players today are wearing that decal that says Joe, and he's certainly a great man.
So, to pick up the action right here as the white team takes over, 1st and 10. And Halpin back to throw, and over the head of Neil Heaton, the intended receiver, setting up a 2nd down play.
We were just having some fun with West Islip and Wayne Charant. We said they needed the West Islip goalposts out there a little bit wider, and he says they've changed them.
West Islip got the wishbone goal.
Well, gentlemen, a little humor inducted into our broadcast here. And it'll set up a 2nd down and 10 situation for the white team as they take over with 2:41 to go. White team trailing by a score of 12-7. They came up with a 5-yard touchdown run to get them on the board. I beg that pardon, the white team with the lead, 12-7, with Frank Ingoglia throwing for 2 touchdowns. And this is Vaca, the big fullback from West Islip, picks up 11 on the 1st down. And it'll be a 1st down up at the 31-yard line.
And Vaca carries the ball a lot for the West Islip Lions. He's a fullback in a wing T offense. Carries the ball a good 15 to 20 times a football game for them. So he's no stranger to running with the ball up the middle.
So it sets up a 1st and 10 at the 20 as they clock stops momentarily. Now restarts. The officials doing a great job today, led by referee Essek Dillard. Jamal Adams is the tailback in the I set. And again, they go to the fullback, and look at him ramble and roll inside midfield to around the 47-yard line. A gain of about 22 on the play for Jerry Vaca. And we'll give you Vaca's stats in just a moment.
Impressive run there down the middle of the field by Brian Maliason of Miller Place, who scored 18 of Miller Place's 21 touchdowns this year. He was a star player on a very weak team.
Let me correct that. Was Brian, an all-county performer, played for the PAL Colts. And many of these youngsters we're watching out here, Nick, products of PAL football.
PL football is the first place that kids play in Suffolk County, and just about all of them, Barry, have played.
All right, back to throw, and Halpin's pass tipped and incomplete. And Dom Brianti, number 62, got his hand on the ball. Another fine performer out of Mount Sinai, an all-county kid who is interested in some schools like Maryland, Wagner, and Hofstra. And that stops the clock with 2 minutes to go. White team leading 12-7, facing a second down.
You mentioned Maliason before. Malison's father was a great football player at Hop Hog High School, and so was his brother. They're great. He comes from a great football tradition. His brother played at Colgate the last couple of years.
All right, again, they go to Milison, and he stopped after a gain of about 2, and stopped after a very short pickup. Joel McKay, who plays on the outside linebacker, along with John Mays, made the tackle.
Maliason will also have the opportunity to play college baseball. He's a powerful hitter. He has the option of playing both sports when he goes to school.
Maliason, 20 yards on 3 carries, and Jamal Adams checks out of the game, the diminutive star from Deer Park. And Heaton comes up wide to the left, and coming out wide to the right is Jeff Costa, number 44. Here's the pitch to that side, and Hatcher will be stuffed. Pick up around 2 on the play, and a fine defensive play by the blue team coming up. Dayron Marquez, the 5'7", 165-pounder from Central Islip. Tough little guy who plays a tough cornerback.
And Marquez is part of a really good secondary at Central Islip. They do come up and deliver some blows. Tom Black, his coach, thinks he's one of the better defensive backs in Division I.
Greg, on 4th down, they're going for it. What do you look for here?
I think you're going to see play action pass. I think you're going to see it down the middle of the field as the linebackers drop.
Just 43 seconds to go in the half, and back to throw. Halpin looking deep. He's got a receiver out there. And is it going to be caught? What a catch downfield by Brent Lawrence, number 81, out of Comstock, the all-county receiver. He's a basketball player heading to Fredonia State, but he made a great play right there.
I'll tell you what, he went up in the air, and that was a big-time catch right there. He was really, and it was not a bad defensive play by the defensive cornerback, but he went up and said, hey, look, I'm getting higher than you. I'm coming down with the football. Made a great play.
35 seconds. They'll reset the clock as they move the chains. The white team looking to put another touchdown on the board. They lead 12-7. Halpin will give it to Vaca, and the youngster from West Islip gains a couple. Let's see if they have timeouts remaining. I think that is they have maybe one more timeout left. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they just took one, Barry, right now.
Vaca 29 yards on 4 carries. And we'll give you Justin Halpin's passing stats in just a moment. Gain of 3. What do you look for, Greg, on 2nd and 7 here with a white timeout?
Well, I
down
like
to the final 25 seconds.
I like Halpin in the open field. I like him to be able to make a decision whether he should run with it or he should throw it. They might want to roll him out right, fake a little handoff into the line, and then look in the end zone for a leaping Lawrence. Lawrence made a great catch like that last year against Sayville.
Timeout. We'll pick up the action in just a moment.
35.
Halpin's pass to Lawrence, which sets up this goal line stand here for 36 yards. Halpin to Lawrence, 36 yards. We ask all the ladies and gentlemen in the crowd to please stay put for a special halftime presentation and take place immediately at the beginning of the half.
It was careful here, and he's jumping. You start listening to him.
Yeah, and I'm making the rule. I'm saying it my way.
It's hard. At the 50-yard line, Coach Dooley.
25.3 seconds to go in this first half. The white team leading 12-7, representing divisions 2 and 3 here in this PAL All-Star football game. The blue team representing divisions 1 and 4, and the white team with a first down at the 7. Halpin is the quarterback. He's 2 for 6 for 42 yards. Meliason is back there. He gets the pitch. He looks to throw. Meliason now rumbling to the near side. Cuts upfield nicely. Down at the 2-yard line, but the clock is ticking. No timeouts remaining. They have to get to the line of scrimmage quickly and maybe just down the ball here. Down to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and he will down the ball with 3.7 seconds to go.
Nice job by Halpin to down it there, but it took a little bit too much time to do it. They should have really had 2 plays called. They had a timeout before. They should have had 2 plays called in a row, or said, hey, let's get right to the line of scrimmage. Let's not have any doubt in our mind. But again, it's an all-star game, Barry, and that's difficult. You can say that that it's the wrong thing to do, but you only had 3 days to get ready for the ball game.
So we've got a 4th down. This will be undoubtedly the final play, unless there's a penalty on blue of the first half, Greg Sarah.
Meliason did a good job coming back the other way, and Neil Heaton actually adjusted in the end zone. Was wide open, but he probably couldn't get the grip on the ball.
Meliason, Vacco, and also back there, big number 34, Hatcher. We get a timeout by blue here. So we'll take a timeout on the field. 3.7 seconds to go in this first half, with the white team leading 12-7.
You know what's amazing thing about Jack, who's the leading? You play man-to-man in the middle. I was going to say this before. You play man-to-man. If you play man-to-man, who's the only guy? If you're matched up on everybody, who's the only guy not covered? The quarterback. If it's man-to-man, it's always quarterback. All right, here we go. Or attack the corner with him and walk in.
All you need is a seal.
All right, we're going to pick up the action in a minute, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barry Landers with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah back here at the University at Stony Brook. Final play of this first half. And the white team on 4th down, going to not go for a field goal. They're going for it here. Full house backfield. And we'll see what quarterback Justin Halpin does here. Halpin handing off. Hatcher off the left side of the line. Touchdown! Sean Hatcher behind the blocks of big Dave D'Ambria and Mark Bruns on that left side. Scores the touchdown.
Yep, they were in the power eye. They ran it to that side. They had 2 lead blockers, gave the ball to the tailback and went in. And that was a key touchdown because that puts them ahead by 2 scores. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to take almost 3 scores for the blue team to come back and win this ball game.
Big run right there, Barry. 500 pounds of beef in front of that boy.
No question about it. They will attempt the extra point out of Justin Gouch to try the extra point, heat the holder. Ball down, and the kick looks good, and it is perfect. So on the final play of the first half, the white team, representing divisions 2 and 3 here in Suffolk, take a 19-7 lead. Nick Schroeder, your thoughts on this first half of football?
Well, I thought it was pretty typical of an all-star game. Turnovers meant a lot early in the game. The teams seemed to have settled down a little bit. I think Ngoglia did an outstanding job throwing the ball to give them that early 2-touchdown lead. The blue team got a little bit fired up, came back and did a good job. And, that last touchdown is devastating. If you take a look at the 2 teams now, it's not good to go.
All right. Jimmy, are we ready? Are you rolling up there? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barry Landers along with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah back at the University at Stony Brook. The white team leading by a score of 19-7, representing divisions 1 and 4 here in Suffolk County. I checked that. Representing divisions 2 and 3, I should say. And off the kickoff, Burrows snowed under at around the 17-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. Again, recapping the scoring in the first half, the white team, as we said, representing divisions 2 and 3, took an early lead as they threw a couple of touchdown passes. Frank Ingoglia throwing a touchdown pass to Sean Hatcher, and then one to Brent Lawrence, and then Hatcher went in for the final score on about a 2-yard play. So right now it stands 19-7 as we'll pick up the play here with the blue team. Sam Kelly is the quarterback right now, number 14. And back to throw is Kelly. A little screen pass almost picked off. Look at the coverage of that white team all over the ball. Dominic Brianti, the linebacker, all over that play and broke it up. An outstanding play by Dominic Brianti. And
that was a
what a
screen.
play.
That was a screen play, Barry, and kind of a strange play to run on the first play of the half, because usually you throw a screen after you've thrown the ball down the field. You want to control the pass rush. Really not something to run in this end of the field.
Yeah, there was no setup to that play, which the defense was all over it.
So it'll be 2nd and 20, a loss of 10 on the play, as they'll work down deep in their own zone at the 8-yard line. Selke, the handoff, and the big guy does not get much, maybe to the 10 or 11. Stelke, in that first half, carried the ball several times for the blue team, and Stelke stopped after he picked up about 4 on the play for Stelke. We'll give you Stelke's stats in just a moment. Doing a great job on the stats today is Jack Mango, the secretary for the Suffolk County PAL Junior Football Program, and you saw many of those youngsters earlier. Jack organized the entire affair out here and doing a bang-up job with the stats as well. So now it'll be 3rd and 18. What do you look for, Nick? Deep in their own territory, trailing 19-7. They can't afford to turn it over.
The word on Kelly is that he can really throw the ball, and I think they're going to have to put it up right here to try to get this first down.
Well, they'll stay on the ground, trying to turn it as Campos. He had the only touchdown they had, and strung out once again. The young man from Huntington, Curtis Williams, coming up with the play.
Curtis Williams, outstanding defensive back, but again, that play calling selection, you're on the hash mark, you run a sweep into the short side of the field, and it's something that I don't know if it was going to get it for you, if even if you run the play to perfection, Greg.
With the speed of the white secondary, I don't think you have much of a chance. The blue team pretty much gave that series up for the punt.
Honorado will be kicking. You saw what a great foot he has earlier, kicking at the goal line. Williams is deep with Heaton, a couple of speedsters. And line drive kick, not very high in the air. Heaton will take it at the 42. Outstanding coverage downfield. Charlie Burrows, number 82, the speedster from Southampton High School, was down there just as he almost caught the ball, Greg Sarah.
Neil Heating showing no fear on that punt reception. He had no chance to get away from Burrows. Burrows was all over him as soon as he made the catch, and the white team will start at the 45.
Stelke, by the way, 7 carries for 26 yards, and the white team will put it in play. Here are some of the rushing stats for you. Vaca, 5 carries for 31 yards. Millicent, 4 carries for 34. Gross, 3 for 31. And this is Hatcher down the sideline, slips a tackle. Hatcher looking for a 6, and he will get it. A 45-yard touchdown. On the short pass, Hatcher took it all the way. Ingoglia with his 3rd touchdown pass of the day.
Ingoglia did a great job, but again, Hatcher not covered out there. They just get him the football, let him make a big play, get the ball into a great player's hand, and let him run. And that's exactly what they've done a couple of times here today. This one for a big touchdown.
They're imploring Wyandach's Vernon Brown to move up, and he refuses to move up in defense. And when a throw is made, he's too late getting there, and Neil Heaton just made an absolutely great block to seal the end.
Well, you play soft against those kind of guys, they're going to burn you. And it appeared they will go for 2 right now, leading by a score of 26-7. So a devastating start for the blue team, trying to come back. They gave up the touchdown late in the first half, and now one early here, Nick. And they will go for 2. Vaca at a West Islip spins. Did he get in? Yes, he got in for the 2-point conversion. And white team now dominating right now, leading 27-7.
Of course, the rules of this game will be that the blue team, even if they score, will get the ball back again. So the blue has an opportunity to come back, and these are all-star game rules, and they want to see a lot of points scored. So it's really to the benefit of the blue team. We'll probably see them on offense for some time now.
What a deadly combination with The kid in Golia throwing the ball so well, Hatcher with such great speed, and now Vaca with the power game. The white team has it happening right now in all cylinders.
You know, my feeling on the passing game, Greg, is that you get great receivers, don't give them that kind of room. You don't want to get them freewheeling in the secondary. If you don't get somebody on them, it's virtually a sprint off the line of scrimmage, and that's what's happened. It's very hard to realize that you're going to leave a player like that open. But again, it's an all-star game. It's different coverages. You'd probably prepare differently if the season were in its regular season.
So Ingoglia now has thrown two touchdown passes to Hatcher. One early in the game, a 5-yarder after a fumble recovery. This one, a 45-yarder. This one will bounce into the end zone, be a touchback as Murray's kick out of the end zone. Hatcher, 62 yards receiving, and he has caught all 3 of the touchdowns today, passes from Mr. Ingoglia, and he's putting on a show out here.
He's putting on quite an offensive show. The blue team needs a spark here, Barry. They need to get it going. Forget that dive into the middle of the line, move Stelke out of the lineup and get 4 receivers in, and they need to make a change here. Vinny Amarato needs to find a way to get this ball downfield.
So they'll put it in play, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The blue team with Sam Kelly, one of 3 of the third quarterback we've seen today. Olive is back there, 36, and Costa, 33. Quick pitch to the near side, and Burrows nowhere to go. Hit initially that time by number 33, and then brought down Lucas Grace. Number 52 finally brought him down, but Corey Hughes came up, initially made the hit out of his cornerback position. The kid who played for the PAL, the Riverhead Raiders, out of Riverhead High School.
The Riverhead Raiders, one of the many organizations in PAL football. From east to west, PAL football has become a big thing in Suffolk County, and probably one of the reasons why Suffolk County high school football has become so prominent.
Yeah, the blue team with Costa staying in. Sirigliano is a wide receiver to the right side, and Costa bounces off the tackle and finally down. The initial hit by number 62, and then the stop.
On the initial hit, brought down by
as Murray finally brought him down, but the initial hit delivered on the part of the white team was by number 62, Dominic Brianti.
Brianti's made a couple of big plays today. He's come up from his linebacker position and made a couple of really great plays. It's interesting right now that Burrows has been in the ball game. He's a receiver for Kelly during the season. In an all-star game, that goes a long way when you have the receiver and the quarterback from the same team.
3rd and 3 at the 27. Blue team trying to keep the drive going here. Fisher, the tailback, as they work out of the eye. And Fisher will get the call off the left side, but excellent penetration once again. Sean Rush, the all-county 6'3", 255-pounder out of West Islip, who's a big-time baseball prospect as well. Got in very quickly, Greg Sarah.
Sean Rush is a big-time pitcher for the West Islip team, which made it to the Long Island, actually the Suffolk County Class A championship, and they lost to who, Nick?
Well, they lost to the Smithtown Bulls in that game right over here at Stony Brook, and it was a great game, though. They did have an outstanding team. It was a great baseball game.
Honorado to punt, and this one, Williams will let this one go to Heaton. Heaton slips a tackle at the 40, reverses his field, dangerous play here, and brought down. A huge loss on the play as he's brought down downfield by number 24. Mike Sirigliano.
Sirigliano's a great football player all around. I think he's got a tremendous future at the college level. He's not real big, but he can do a lot of things for you. Greg, on that situation right there, sometimes you want to cut your losses on a punt return. You're coming down, you're already at a spot. Don't go backwards on a punt return, especially in a situation where you have the lead like this. You don't need to have a big play right now. You need to get the ball back in your hands.
So the white team will take over. Greg, and what do you look for from them here? I mean, obviously,
they're going to continue to throw it out into the flat and let them make their plays.
White has taken a timeout here.
Hey, Barry, what's interesting about that last punt play with Neil Heaton getting dragged down from behind is he and Sirigliano play summer baseball together. They're best friends, so there'll be some bragging rights on that tackle over there, Sirigliano.
Randy Williams in the ballgame for the white team on offense for the first time, with him holding a big lead, a 6'1", 230-pounder out of Hills East. in the backfield when play resumes. We have a timeout on the field with the score, the white team leading the blue team 27-7.
David Shanahan and the John Glenn football staff, please report to the press box.
Thanksgiving.
There you go. Very hard. Very hard.
Wait, where's Doc? That's out of his car, right?
He's intravenous injection. Aaron Daniels and Jason Gouch to the left.
We pick up the play here with 10 minutes to go.
Randy Williams is a long setback behind.
White team on a first down, leading 27-7. Downfield contact, and we're going to get a flag? Apparently no. And the pass was intended for Jay Gouge, number 80.
I think
there was some contact there.
I think the reason you're not going to get a flag is that they're probably going to rule that that was an uncatchable ball, a ball that just couldn't be caught anyway, and then there wouldn't be a call on that. And I believe that's why the referee didn't throw the flag. Had that ball been within his reach, I think you would have seen the flag having been thrown.
A good no call, perhaps. So with 9:53 to go, it'll be a 2nd and 10. We'll give you Frank Ngoglia's stats in just a moment. Ngoglia handing off, and Jamal Adams, the diminutive player from Deer Park, brought down. Dan Sable, number 77, on the tackle. He's had quite a few of those so far today, Greg.
You know, they talk about how small Jamal Adams is, but what he lacks in height and size, he makes up for in heart. He's a tremendous running back from Deer Park. He had over 1,300 yards rushing this year. I know that he aspires to be a ballet dancer as he gets older, which is really interesting, considering he has great balance and he runs the ball so well.
So we've got a 2nd down, make that a 3rd down and 8 situation with 9:18 to go. Empty backfield. This worked effectively earlier. And looking over the middle to the big tight end from Deer Park, and Noblet with the first down at the 43-yard line. A gain of 16 on the play. Smith on the tackle, number 45. But not before Noblet was able to pick up the first down.
Noblet's quite a target, Barry. He's a big boy. He's got a great set of hands. He was been open a couple of times earlier. They tried to get him the football and didn't deliver. At that time was right on the money. When you have a big tight end like that who can go inside and control the linebackers, can control the undercoverage, it's a big weapon for you.
Well, Ngoglia, 8 for 11, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he'll line up with the wide receiver, Jay Gouge, to the right side. Out of the I formation, they'll work in the backfield. And Williams, out of Hills East, bangs off a couple of tackles and gets about 4 or 5 on the play. Brought down by Dom Brianti, number 62, who's played a terrific game. He's been in a lot of plays, Greg.
That's a power fullback right there. And Randy Williams took a lot for Brianti to pull him down. He's a strong kid, Brianti, from Mount Sinai. He led his team in tackles for the last 2 years.
I'll tell you another outstanding linebacker out there is John Mays from Lindenhurst. I saw him last week in the Lindenhurst-Brentwood game. Mays is a great blitzer. Here he can't blitz in this ball game, but he's in on just about every play. His name's not getting announced, but he's part of every tackle.
All right, we've got a 2nd and 4 to 49. Williams the single setback. 3 wide receivers set, looking near side again, diving catch, and Jason Gouge out of East Islip, the all-county receiver, gives him another first down on a 10-yard gain. Mark Taddeo making the tackle.
Mark Taddeo on the tackle for the blue team. White team, first down.
Right now we've been joined by a gentleman that, Nick, you'd love to introduce, a guy that we've gotten to know and love lately.
Lou Bonazio, how are you? He's the commissioner of this game. He's also a member of the National Football Hall of Fame, the National Football Foundation. And Lou, maybe we can talk a little bit after this play about some of the things that the foundation does and some of your involvement in Suffolk County football.
Oh, as he wrestled down. Big number sack by number 53, Pastore. Paul Pastore, 6'2", 225-pounder out of John Glenn. An all-county performer interested in Alfred, C.W. Post, and Stony Brook. Sam Kornhauser here taking a look at him. But, Lou, pick up what Nick had just asked you about.
Well, thanks, guys. Well, just to tell you a little bit about youth football in Suffolk County. Last year, we went from 102 teams to 157 teams this year. Over 3,700 kids playing youth football in Suffolk County. and we're real happy about that.
All right, and we saw so many of those youngsters out here enjoying the day and stayed to watch this game. 2nd down and 20 off the loss of 10. Nothing doing that time for Aaron Daniels, the all-county runner out of Hills West High School. And we're seeing the blue team now come up with some pretty good defensive plays.
Well, they're all stars, Barry, so anything could happen. It's not over till it's over.
Speaking of over, I know there are great plans. You guys continue with the foundation's involvement with this program, with the PAL football game. You're looking for bigger and better things in the future.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to the Heisman Brunch, December 12th, and the Golden 11, the top scholar athletes in Suffolk County will be honored, and the top scholar athlete will be honored along with meeting the Heisman Trophy winner for 1999. So it's a pretty exciting time.
Lou, thanks for joining us, and thanks for all your support.
My pleasure, guys.
All right, nice pass reception for Neil Heaton Jr. Pass a little bit behind him, Nick, but he's got those sure hands.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with Ngoglia because he was sacked for a loss and then comes right back and throws the football again and completes it right on the money. That kid's got a lot of character. He just took a mouthful of mud and then comes back and completes his next pass, Greg.
He's looking for Jason Gouch here set to the right.
All right,
he's
he's
gonna go
looking left, and it's going to be bobbled, and is it going to be intercepted? No, doesn't matter anyway. They're going to take over the ball. But number 47, Clinton Mellis, had a hot potato in his hands there. Another kid who played for the PAL program for the Peconic Panthers, the young man out of Mercy High School.
I'm real surprised that he went back to the same play to Heaton cutting across the middle because he had twins right. No, both those guys were wide open on that play.
So it'll set up a 1st and 10. The blue team holds, and they need to get something going here, Nick, to get back in the game.
They sure do, because it's with 5:11 left in the third quarter. You don't want to get in that fourth quarter being 3 and 4 touchdowns down. They also have to make sure that they establish themselves in their running game and get some play action. They're not going to do it all drop back passing, because when you're a defensive lineman, you know it's drop back pass. You're going to tee off.
Kelly to throw on 1st down. He's got a strong arm looking downfield for Cornett. And it's going to be intercepted by the young man from Huntington once again, Curtis Williams, another PAL graduate from the Huntington Bulldogs.
Well, the Huntington Bulldogs, we have one of their representatives right behind us here. But again, that was a great defensive back play. I want to tell you that I believe that right now he could probably play at the college level as a cornerback. That was great man-to-man coverage, great job going up for the football, shielded him off. It was almost like he boxed him out, and the receiver couldn't make the play. And I want to tell you, Williams is as good as any defensive back I've seen in this game in the last few years, Greg.
I put Williams in the same class with Neil Heaton Jr. as the guys that we thought were the best D-backs in Suffolk County.
Well, Curtis Williams, according to Barry Luckman, who's the defensive coordinator, he was talking about him. Actually, Barry said that he is the best high school player he has seen in the 25, 30 years that he has been around coaching, and that says a lot. Halpin throwing up the sideline, tipped and nearly picked off. Number 74, deflecting the pass that time was Vernon Brown, a terrific defender out of Wyandanch High School. Little guy at 5'8", 156, but he's got a big-time future.
Yeah, the Wyandanch program over the years has always had a lot of players in these games, always kids that make big plays, never real big guys, never guys that are gonna dominate a game, but they're always there. They're particularly in the defensive backfield. I've coached this game about 4 times myself, and never have I had it where there weren't 3 or 4 Wyandanch players that made a big contribution.
Neil Heaton has caught 3 passes for 36 yards, and of course Hatcher has caught 3 big ones. The big fullback, and banging his way is Millison out of Miller Place, stopped by Ethan Smith, number 45. I want to thank our spotters who are doing a terrific job here today, and I'll have them for you in just a moment. I think they're members of that Huntington Bulldogs, and I think it's the Maglio family. It's Joe Maggio Jr., little Joe here, a member of the Bulldogs, played in the game earlier today, and his dad, Rich Maggio, helping us out, doing the spotting. And right now, the white team continues to move the football, Greg Sarah.
You know, something that's been pretty interesting on this drive, he just ran off the field, was Jason Gouge just playing wide receiver, which is really his normal position. He had to play quarterback all year at East Islip.
Yeah. A lot of these guys. Oh, dangerous play, great penetration. Number 61 on the blue team, getting in very quickly that time. From Sachem High School, Anthony Muratori, 6'2", 215-pounder. He'll be going maybe to Marist or Sacred Heart. Excellent lacrosse player as well, an all-county football player.
Muratori is an outstanding athlete, good lacrosse player. Probably this year led the Sachem defense to the playoffs. He and the Sachem defense did a fine job in the second half of the season, really regrouping and doing a fine job. And in talking to Fred Fusaro, Anthony Muratori was a main reason for their success in the second half of the year.
So we face a 2nd and 15 situation. They'll stay on the ground. Hatcher down the left sideline and close to the first down, dragged down about a yard shy of the first down. Brought down by number 46, Trevor Campbell, the young man out of Northport High School, 6'2", 195-pounder, perhaps the biggest hitter according to the coaching staff. Talking to them, they liked him in practice. At 6'2", 195, good size for a defensive back.
Yeah, Trevor Campbell's a good player. Northport has a fine tradition of good defensive football, and Trevor fits right in. Hatcher is a threat every time he touches the ball, and I would give him the ball as much as I possibly could.
And then we'll go to the fullback, Vacco, and he'll pick up the first down as he bangs his way 5 yards to the 46-yard line. And brought down by Trevor Campbell once again, who's interested in Albany and Towson. Albany going to 1AA football and had a very good football season. They recruit a lot on Long Island, Greg.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the offensive line right now, Barry, and I wanted to expand on that a little bit. You look at Paul Thompson and Dave DeAmber of Comswell. They've got some big boys up there, and then you got a guy like Vaca coming in behind those guys. That's got to be real tough on a linebacker.
A couple of the backup guys, Jonathan Lee and Greg Harry, also doing a nice job in there. On the quarterback draw, Halpin, who runs so well, as Greg made that before, brought down after picking up 9. And John Mays, number 52, out of Lindenhurst, who's also a very strong hitter as a linebacker, brought him down. And Joel McKay, number 64. Out of Longwood.
You know, they go to that no-back set, and when you have to man up on everybody that's split out there, that's 5 people that you have to man up on, and who's not covered? Usually the quarterback. So if you're playing man defense, you go back. You can run quarterback draw on a regular basis.
You can do it all day, and right now they face a 2nd and 1. Empty backfield here. Boy, they really spread them out. With 4 wide receivers set a la Hofstra here. Halpin looking to throw and knocked down. There's going to be a flag looking for Aaron Daniels. Vernon Brown was in, hit him just maybe a shade before the ball got there.
He broke too early. He definitely laid the lumber there too early. It took him out. He actually had a shot for an interception. If he tried to jump the pass, he might have taken that one all the way, but he went for the big hit and he just got there a little bit too early.
Barry Landers with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah as the officials confer, and we'll mark the football off here with 1:39 to go in this third quarter. It's been all white team representing divisions 2 and 3, as Frank Ingoglia has thrown 3 touchdown passes today. The pass interference will give him a first down at the 22-yard line.
It's nice to see that the white team's going to continue to open it up offensively, give the other kids a chance to play, and not just sit on the football as you probably would during the season. But Halpin's in there. They're going to give him a chance to throw as many passes as Ingoglia threw, and this is what an all-star game is all about.
1st and 10 at the 21. Nothing doing. Williams stuffed right there at the line of scrimmage. Curtis Williams, as he was brought down by number 77, Dan Sable. And also on the play, number 70, Derek Goff.
To the credit of the blue defense, Barry, they are just playing it real tough in the trenches there. They know they're up against it. They're trying to keep themselves in the game as the third quarter winds down here.
Brent Lawrence is lined up wide to the right. He caught a touchdown pass earlier, one of the 3 thrown by Ingoglia. Jamal Adams slips the initial tackle and brought down. Initially, he was hit by number 70 and then brought down. Derek Goff got a piece of him. And Jamel Patterson, number 90. And Hardy came up from the secondary to finish him off, setting up a 3rd and 7 with 47 seconds to go in this third quarter.
You know, you talk about Derek Goff. Derek was part of William Floyd's rise to prominence last year when they made it to the final game against Longwood, and he's come back this year and really been a leader on their defensive and offensive units. He's a fine offensive player also.
Vaca and Adams back there. Halpin looking for the Heaton, and it's going to be almost intercepted. In and out of the arms of Daquan Hardy, the big-time kid. He should have had that one. Who's interested in perhaps Illinois, Notre Dame. He's a good student, and Harvard also one of the schools that's expressed an interest in him. But should have had that one, Nick.
Yeah, he should have had that one, and it would have been given the blue team a shot here. Now it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they go for it. Do they have a field goal kicker, Greg? I'm not aware of anybody on the white team that can kick it from this range.
Jason Gouge can definitely hit from this distance, the East Islip kicker. Whether or not they'll go for 3, I doubt it. They'll probably go for a touchdown here. But Gouge is just like Honorado. He kicks for distance. He kicked from 40 yards. And right now we'd be looking at about a 41-yard field
Greg,
goal.
you talk about kickers. East Islip, of course, in the past has had some outstanding place kickers.
Yeah, John Biscup is the first one that comes to mind. He went to Syracuse. There's been quite a few.
Well, they won't go for the field goal. They'll go for it on 4th and 7. Adams lines up wide to the right, empty backfield. Halpin looking. He's got a wide open receiver. Touchdown to Jay Gouge out of East Islip. So the Belport to East Islip combination, a couple of arch rivals, combined to score the touchdown there.
Yeah, Belport and East Islip rivals over the years. On that particular situation, Gouge, who has played at quarterback most of this past season for the Redmen, comes up on the receiving end from the Belport quarterback, Halpin.
Unfortunately, Mark Taddeo, number 76, the cornerback, missed the coverage on that, and that left Gouge all alone.
Gouge will also attempt the extra point. And you talk about field goal kickers. I'll tell you a story in a second, Greg, that's amazing. East Islip field goal kickers.
Hatcher has been involved in 3 touchdowns, caught 2 passes, ran for 1, and this time the kick is good. So the white team dominating here 34-7. And conferences or divisions 2 and 3 really showing their form here today and beating them rather decisively here.
Showing them really their dominance. As Greg said earlier in the game, that they had 7 teams. There were 7 teams deep this year. If you think that they're not deep, think about this. East Islip, which is one of the best teams in Suffolk County, did not make the high school playoffs. Okay, they were about as good as anybody I've seen all year long. I saw them play early in the season. And they have a number of people on this all-star team, and they didn't make the playoffs. That's a great football team. So that conference this year, okay, every year a lot of people say, well, Division I is the best conference because they have the biggest schools. Well, in this particular year, I have to agree with Greg that Division II really dominated play in Suffolk County and had 7 good teams.
So we're just about set to go with just 34-7 our score. And kick coming from the white team. Murray booming this one. Campos will watch this bounce into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And the blue team will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with just 10 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter. I want to thank some people here that have helped make this a good day for football for the 26th annual Suffolk County Police Athletic High School All-Star Game. And they include the Director of Events and Operations here at Stony Brook, who does a terrific job, Anthony Bonavita. Also Sam Kornhauser, the head football coach. Jeff Frayer, the president of the PBA. You met Len Genova earlier, the president of the chapter here in Long Island, the National Football Foundation. Here's the throw down the sideline. Cornett with the reception down the sideline and dragged down. So Cornett with a beautiful reception off the pass from Matt Millerheiser out of Shoreham-Wading River made that pass.
Milheiser threw quite a few touchdown passes this year, and he got behind the coverage there. There's 2 guys in the same area. He picked the right receiver, made a great throw, and blue team's in business. Big time play right there. Hey Nick, you were talking about the East Islip kickers before. Get back to that.
Well, in this game, which used to be played in the summertime, we had a guy named Ken Kanzler out of East Islip. I believe it was the 1982. It might have been the 84 game. I'm getting so old I can't remember, Greg. But what happened was that I felt it was an all-star game, and I felt we had an opportunity to show off some skills. Kanzler was great. He attempted a 56-yard field goal in the game, just missed the upright.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score The white team 34 and the blue team 7.
They won 3-0 against West Isis, right? I know, that's why
Our
I wasn't looking at
50-50 raffle drawing will be held sometime during the fourth quarter. As soon as they get all the stuff geared up, we want to thank everybody for their support of the Suffolk County Football Coaches Association. There's tremendous turnout. It's hard to have it counted up, we'll announce it, all the winning tickets.
Right, exactly. I've learned that 20 years. You call the wrong guy, and it's like that. You make up the guy. Like the old broadcast.
Paul, there was a story that Carl Reuter dared me to put his name in a long time ago because he never played high school sports. I was sick.
Yeah. Candler, 56 yards. People thought we were nuts. I said, I don't care.
This game is so
Boston College.
All right, Jim, we're getting ready to go. So
Suffolk County football coaches who have donated their time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barry Landers with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah. We begin the fourth quarter. The blue team with a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. As Matt Milhauser, the fourth quarterback, finally trying to get them going here. Gross in the backfield right now, number 18, the speedster. And in trouble, Milhauser throws, and it's going to be complete for a very short gain to Joe Stelke, the fullback, coming out of the backfield and brought down after a very short pickup, gain of 6, and brought down on the white team.
Hey, Barry, I think
Dominic
the people here,
Pansica, who's not listed on our initial program, comes up with the stop. So it'll be a 5-yard gain, Greg Sarah.
they've got to be very happy here. The University of Stony Brook, the field conditions have been really great. The rain has held off for the game, which is a pleasure after last year's downpours. And I know they do have a big game tomorrow. Stony Brook, they play St. John's.
Yeah, Stony Brook and St. John's. Milhauser looking deep. He throws for the end zone.
Oh!
Cornett, great catch, touchdown. Terrific catch. A beautiful pass, 27-yarder. Joe Cornett out of John Glenn High School with the touchdown reception. And I'll tell you, if Joe Gardy's interested, this is a young man that could, even though he's 6'4", 190, he'd be a terrific size receiver.
He was 82, wasn't he?
Check that. Was it Charlie Burrows who caught that? Yes, beg your pardon. I made the mistake. I thought it was Cornett back there. But it was 82 instead of 32. So he's a little guy at 5'9". And he comes up with the reception. Extra point coming here as Chris Honorato will be attempting the extra point.
Sirigliano always a threat to fake here, Greg.
Sirigliano, 24, the holder, the quarterback at Patchogue, Medford. Honoratos booms this one right through the uprights. And they finally got a quarterback to move him, Matt Milhauser.
And now they'll get the ball back as according to the PAL rules. So they will get the kickoff again and get a chance to score and get it closer.
By 9 points or more, after they score, they can elect to receive the ball. 9 points or more difference in an all-star game, the blue team can receive the ball.
You know, Burrows' catch in the end zone was an outstanding athletic move, as was the interception down in this end before by Williams from Huntington. And we've seen some really outstanding athletes here. You have to remember that these are the kids that are not on the championship teams, because those 4 teams are going to play at Hofstra. So these are games that are played for the kids whose teams were either knocked out or didn't make the playoffs. And some of our better players in Suffolk County will be playing this weekend in the championship games.
So early in this fourth quarter, the blue team strikes on the touchdown pass. And right now they trail 34-14. They will get the football as part of the rules that are employed here in the All-Star football game. Murray will be doing the kicking off, and wouldn't they like a kickoff return here to get them even closer, Nick Schroeder?
Yeah, well, that's one of the beauties of the game. They have the opportunity now to get back on offense. If they can get one real quick, that'd be great. Then they'll be receiving another kickoff after that.
And they try an onside kick here. Look at this. And they come up with it.
Kick is received by Jason Gouch.
Jason Gouch coming up with it and taking it to the 30. Make that the 25. 5-yard line.
I'll tell you what, now that's taking advantage of the rules. I mean, they're thinking you're going to bomb it into the end zone. You're up 34-14. You get an onside kick. That's the only way they're going to get the ball back, so they did it.
Well, the white team coaching staff coming up with them.
Now there's a twist, huh? There's a twist.
Craig Blatter. We mentioned his staff, Kevin Noonan from Savo, and they've also got some help from the other coaching staff and doing the job right there on the offensive side. Phil DiPompeo, Rob Haas, and Kevin Hemphy.
Now that can't be advanced in high school football, Barry. When as soon as you get possession of the ball, that's where the ball is spotted. So you can't advance that ball as you would at the NFL level.
Hey Barry, who wants to bet next year they input the rule that you can't onside kick when they're trying to have the team come back for the sake of competitiveness?
That's right. That was why the rule was put in. They lead by 20 and they've got the ball. And Goglia handing off to the big fullback, and not much for Jerry Vaca as he stuffed on the play. After gaining just 2 yards, John Mays, number 52, on the tackle.
It'll be interesting to see what the white team is going to do here, whether they're going to continue to open it up as they have throughout the whole ball game, or they're just going to try to run the clock here. I would think it's an all-star game. You've got some people over there who can make big plays. Give them the opportunity to do it, Greg.
Why not spread it around, let everybody have some fun today. It's a great day. We've had no problems with the weather. It started out a little wet. Here we go. We're going to see them throw the ball a little bit right here.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8. And Goglia 10 for 14 for 150 yards, make it 11 for 15. Jamal Adams, not much going there as he's tackled by number 50, setting up a 3rd down play. Daquan Hardy on the stop. Clock ticking with 2 minutes gone in the 4th quarter. Also want to thank many of the people involved with this Suffolk PAL game. We mentioned from Stony Brook, Anthony Bonavita, Sam Kornhauser, and from the PBA, Jeff Freyer, the president, Len Genova, the president of the National Football Foundation, Nassau and Suffolk chapter, and Bob Bogan, the Suffolk County PAL, all people that have helped make this game possible. It's 3rd down and 3 from the 33-yard line. Hatcher is the tailback, and they will go to Vaca, trying to bang his way to the 1st down at the 30-yard line. Stopped on the play by Clinton Mellis, the outside linebacker, and Jamal Patterson out of CI. Tough, hard-nosed nose tackle made the stop. It will be 4th and inches, Nick.
4th and inches, they're going to go fullback again. They have 2 outstanding fullbacks, Vaco from West Islip and Maleisen. Vaco's in the ball game right now, and I think you're going to see him carry the football here. Greg, are we going to go play action here on 4th and 2 inches again, or no? I'm going with the fullback this time.
After a onside kick, you never know.
Well put. So Vaca and Hatcher are the running backs. A mix-up there. It bounces in the Hatcher's hands, and he's in trouble. So the mix-up covered by number 47, Clinton Mellis, out of Mercy High School. And the blue team will take over, trailing by 20 with 11:35 to go.
So they live past that onside kick, and they get the football back, and they're going to have to open it up here. They don't have a heck of a lot of time. With 11:35, they trail 34-14. They're going to have to spread them. They're going to have to get the ball off quickly, because if I'm a defensive lineman for the white team right now, all I'm doing is I'm going to pass rush as best as I possibly can. I'm going to line up wide, and I'm just coming. I'm not even playing the run.
1st down and 10. We'll set the lineup for you. Matt Milheiser is 3 for 3, coming into the game for 79 yards, including a touchdown. He'll go to the air here. Short pass upfield complete for 1st down. And the receiver was Charles Burrows. Milheiser completing the pass to Burrows. Gain of 12.
You know, Wayne Morris, who works for Cablevision, makes a couple of really good points about being a receiver. Just get the ball in my hands and let me make the plays. I think quarterback is probably one of the more overrated positions in the game of football. Get the ball into a good player's hands and let him make a play.
Yards after catch really is the story of what you're talking about. Milheiser pump faking. He's got a man wide open down. It's the Sirigliano. Waits for the ball and taken down Great concentration. Sirigliano waited for that ball to come into his hand, made the catch. Steve Sampson was defending. It's first down.
Great job by Sirigliano. He hung in there. He got his front numbers to the ball. He did a great job making an adjustment on the throw and comes up with a big play. And now the blue team is within scoring range.
Well, the more sprint out quarterback is doing it. They had the pocket passes in. This kid has a little more success, and Milheiser coming from Shoreham Wading River doing the job right here. First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
First and 10 from the 18.
And they will go inside to Joe Olive off the left side. Gains just a few yards as he got to about the 15-yard line. P.J. Murray has played a terrific game, stopping Joe Olive, who is at 5'10", 215, kind of bowling ball, kind of runner. And he stopped after a short gain, and basically Olive will come out of the game right now, and so will Joe Cornett. And into the ball game comes George LaFleur out of Lindenhurst, number 21, wides up as a flanker to the left.
7-9-6-1.
And looking that way, and the ball behind him. He had LaFleur out there.
He needed to lead him to the outside, to the sideline, which would have been an easier catchable ball. Instead, he threw it behind the receiver, who was making the cut outside. He couldn't adjust, and we have an incomplete pass.
So now, faced with a big play coming up here, they make substitutional changes. And checking back into the ball game is Sirigliano, who caught that big pass. Milheiser certainly very successful since taking over here. Sirigliano lines up wide to the left. Backs are split. Play action fake to Campos. He's in trouble and will be taken down. Taken down by number 20, Amin Maan, the speedy 5'7" on 60-pound defensive tackle, who according to Barry Luckman is the fastest player on the field.
5'7", 160-pound defensive lineman, but he doesn't play that way. He's quick, he's very difficult to block, and he's going to get some penetration. From what I've heard at Bellport, he's been doing that all season long.
He comes in the same mold as Frankie Rivera of North Babylon, who's also a diminutive nose tackle, who's real small, wrestler-type kid that gets in the backfield very quick, relies on his quickness to get in.
Well, sometimes when you have a small kid playing the nose tackle, he gets underneath people. He has leverage that way. 4th and 16 from the 25. They, of course, will go for it. Pump faking, looking deep. He's got a man out there, but he overthrows the intended receiver, George LaFleur.
LaFleur is an outstanding receiver from Lindenhurst. He had a great year. He's one of the reasons that Lindenhurst made it to the finals in Division I this year. He had a tough week last week, and they had a couple of balls picked off, but LaFleur never really got the ball into his hands as much as he did the remainder of the season. He had an outstanding year for the Lindenhurst Bulldogs.
9:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Barry Landers with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah. And earlier we had a chance to learn more about the National Football Foundation. Let's go to that tape right now. First and 10 at the 25-yard line with 9:20 to go in the fourth quarter as we pick up play here. Barry Landers along with Nick Schroeder and Greg Sarah. And it'll be first and 10. And a quick pitch far side. The big fullback has got it, and he will go for about 7 or 8 on the play. Millison on the reception.
Barry, I have to question the defensive calls here on the blue team. They are just leaving the slot guy uncovered in every series, and they're taking advantage of that.
Well, they may call it back here. Holding. We've had very few holding penalties, and that will set him back. And Goglia has had a terrific day, and we'll give you his updated stats in just a moment, because he has been the story today. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes to Sean Hatcher and 1 touchdown pass to Brent Lawrence. Pete Blyberg, the all-time play-by-play coordinator, correcting us right here in the booth. Pete doing a terrific job letting the folks here at Stony Brook and around the world know what's happening in today's game.
And Pete putting his vote in for Ngoglia as the Kings Park Athletic Director.
Does a great job. He, of course, took over for Nick Nick Schroeder is working in the booth with us. This is what happens to former coordinators, or is he practicing for your job in the booth here? Pass intended on the far side for Aaron Daniels, incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Barry. You don't lose any games up here in the booth. That's a big thing. I've found that out. It's a lot easier being up here than being down on the sideline making the calls. What's going on right now is that they're going to try to get a lot of people a lot of playing time. You see 7 or 8 blue team players coming off the field and the 7 or 8 coming on. So at this point, it's going to be very important that everybody's played an amount that they're going to be happy with. Remember, they're all All-Stars. They all deserve the opportunity to play.
And Goglia, according to Craig Blatters, a diamond in the rough. Not a lot of people know about him. Whoa, look at the catch by Noblet. He fumbled it after he caught it. Should be ruled a fumble. And blue team was there to recover. And he had it. No, they're going to rule it incomplete. Juggled it.
Yeah, I don't believe he ever really had control. He was juggling it all the way and never really tucked the ball away or had it in control. That ball was never in his possession, and so therefore it's an incomplete pass.
It was a great pass. He rifled that right down the middle of the field. Great height on it. Made a nice grab, bobbled it. That's the worst thing as a quarterback when you see a guy bobbling the ball in the secondary because you know he's going to get drilled and the ball's going to pop up in the air for an interception.
Yeah, DeQuinn Hardy, again, another defensive play. He's an outstanding player from Longwood High School, and he really broke that play up.
And Goglia is 11 for 17 for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns. He'll go to the air again. And looking for Hatcher. It's picked off here. DeQuinn Hardy down the sideline and driven out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 as he was driven out downfield by number 36, Joe Olive, with the tackle.
Nice job by Hardy, a good player, as we said earlier. This time the ball thrown not to the receiver. Hardy making the play, coming back and setting up the blue team for a potential score.
I checked that. The tackle was by Neil Heaton. Got my teams mixed up here. I guess that'll happen every once in a while. So right now the blue team, trailing by 20, puts it in play with 8:33 to go. Millheiser back to throw, looking, throwing far side, and a battle for it. It's incomplete. Intended receiver that time was Sirigliano, and defending on the play was Corey Hughes, number 33.
Corey Hughes did a good job getting back on that ball. He was beaten by Sirigliano. The ball had to be thrown a little bit earlier